I am a GenMod. It is bizarre that I can say that, as it is something that has been hidden for all of my life. The reason? I'm not just a GenMod. I am an illegally manufactured GenMod. I was programmed and grown in a tank with a mixture of DNA from my mother and unknown donors who were considered genetically superior to the man I thought was my biological father. Of course, my mother used her financial and political clout to ensure all the appropriate paperwork was done. If it had been known, I would have been refused Australian citizenship. It seems strange that I can even talk about it now. However, with Jenna Plural as our leader, genetic modification is no longer the stigma it once was. Indeed, if we hold her up as an example, it is evidence that genetic modification is a pretty neat idea. I kind of became aware that I was different at a very early age. My family was very much in the public eye, and a scandal broke when pictures of me appeared in one of those trashy celebrity magazines that pried into the private lives of the well-to-do. Someone had questioned how I looked so perfect. Even with copious amounts of plastic surgery, my mother was no model, and my father, or rather the man I thought to be my father, was not exactly on a list of beauty. Of course, my mother provided evidence that I was not genetically modified and paid off anyone official likely to investigate me any further, and eventually, the story became boring and went away. Leading up to my 18th birthday, the story began to emerge again. It was getting harder to hide what society considered my flawless features, not that I particularly tried. I am incredibly vain and completely aware that I am considered exceptionally attractive. In my youth, I positively relished it and took full advantage of the opportunities it afforded me. I don't know how the story would have played out because, as you know, the day after my birthday, my world ended. At least the world as I had known it from my ivory tower of privilege. However, today, I can say I am a GenMod. I will never age, and I will never die, barring a violent act. Do I say it with arrogance and pride? No, I say it as a matter of fact. I understand anti-gen bigotry may colour your judgment of me, but I assure you that you find much more to dislike me for within these pages than petty prejudice against my DNA. So let me take you back to my 18th birthday and how, unbeknown to me, I was to play a part in the life of Jenna Plural.